おはようございます。皆さんお元気ですか？元気ですか？はい。日本語クラス、今日はちょっといつもと違う場所なんですけど、We're doing in a little different place due to arrangements that we weren't aware about, but good morning everyone. And so David Sensei is on his way. There's a major traffic jam on one of the big roads, big highway. So that's why I am doing this at this time. So appreciate your connecting with us today. So I'm gonna go over some Bible verses in Japanese. Paolo-san, yo quiero que tú estés para que esté participando. Okay, so I'm gonna use the chat function. If you have any questions, you can ask in Japanese, in English, in Spanish, whatever you like. But so when David Sensei comes, he'll bring back the lessons and do it. But for me, I'm gonna do what I have, which is to go over some use Japanese, but with the Bible that I have here. So, Haru-san is here. Morning. おはようございます。皆さん元気ですか? How are you, everyone? And if you're good, you can say 元気です。So,
Sure.
Nobody's here. Okay. So maybe this is better, so you can see how my mouth is moving. So, not sure how much you can read hiragana, katakana, kanji. Are you beginning? That's great too. So the first one I wanted to say is this. I just posted a verse. It says, 私は道であり、真理であり、命である. So does everybody know what watashi means? Aru-san, what does watashi mean? Mm-hmm. Yo. Watashi, I. Watashi wa, so that's a connecting word. Michi, what is michi?
Michi one.
That's ichi. Michi.
Michi.
Mm-hmm.
Michi de ari.
Michi. Watashi wa michi de ari. What is michi? Anybody know what michi is? Wanna comment? Wanna put it in Japanese? Haru-san, what is michi?
Michi.
Mm-hmm. Huh? That's David. I just posted in Japanese. 私は道であり、道 is a way. It's road, but in this verse, it's a way. And 真理であり、真理. 真理 is a truth. So, 真理であり, that's the second one. And then 命である. 命 is a life. So, I am the way and the truth and life. 私は道であり、真理であり、命である. So that's from John 14:6. So that's one verse that you can use Japanese grammar. It's very simple, right? I am something. So you can introduce yourself with 私は It's the aru is a little bit formal ending. You can say in a regular conversation, 私は it's this. So 私はゆいです. So that's my name, right? 私はゆいです. I'm Yui. So that's a simple structural I am something. So I am the way, the truth, and life. So that's the verse, John 14:6. Okay, so that's one of them. If you think of anything that you would like to know in a Bible verse, if you want to put something else, other question, that's okay. But so we just went over 私は道であり、真理であり、命である. I am the way, the truth, and life. This is from John 14:6 in the Bible, and that's what Jesus said. おはようございます. So David Sensei is here. So this one, I think it's great to memorize and have it in your head. It's a great word in general, but it's also your sentence structure that you can really use and apply. So we cannot meet in the regular room. なんか選挙のやつやってて、でここなんですけど、プロジェクターがないんですよ。そう、でも今オンラインの人が普通にいるので、はい、そういうことです。I'm not sure how you want to. Anybody else has something that you want to put? We have, well, the other one is, the internet is like moderately stable. Yeah. So the other one maybe I can say is the John 15:5. 私はブドウの木、あなた方はその枝である. I think that's also a good one, because remember what 私 is. 私 is I. So we already know 私は so the same structure. 私はブドウの木、あなたはその枝である. So that's the other one. So 私は so it's I am. ぶどうの木. ぶどう is, I don't know, my son knows what ぶどう is. It's a fruit. It's grapes. So ぶどうの木. Ki is tree. So grape tree. ぶどうの木 tree of grape. It's not grapevine. Yeah, but ki itself in Japanese is tree, but in English it would say grapevine. Yeah. So I'm not sure if they, when it was translated, I'm not sure, but you see what I mean though. So the grapevine or grape tree, whatever where the grapes come from. あなたはその枝である. あなた. We know what あなた is. あなた is you. So あなたは so you are その枝である. その is that, and 枝 is a branch. So you are that branch. So we type in Japanese and also 私はぶどうの木、あなたはその枝である. So I just typed it in Japanese. 私はぶどうの木、あなたはその枝である. Can you repeat this?
あなたの
私はこれ
私は
ぶどうの木、
ぶどうに木、あなたはその枝である.
あなたはその枝である. So I'm the grapevine and you're the branches. So that's what the verse says. Let's type that in. I am the, this is also what great Jesus said. Right, and you are the branches. John 15:5. That's where it comes from. So I'm gonna say it again. 私はブドウの木。あなたはその枝である。私はブドウの木。あなたはその枝である。So it's saying that Jesus is the grapevine in the center. And then the branches is you are the branches. So if you connect with, it goes on, if you connect with me, then you will be fruitful. If not, you won't. That's how it goes on, the verse. Okay, so we have, pero quiero hablar con él cómo hacemos. We have some people, but we have a different setting, so we're kind of discussing how we're gonna do this. Ohayou gozaimasu. We're in a really big room, so sí. ¿Ah? ¿Qué? Sí, pero como quiera, yo quiero saber cómo quiere hacer. ¿Ah?
Que ponga clase aquí. Oh, pero no hay.
Pero
To do separate, like a live, and you keep doing the group. We should try.
Yeah, okay.
What verses are you doing? I'll just use those.
I was doing John 14:6 and John 15:5.
John 14.
Oh, the internet's working?
I think so.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I wanted to see if you have any that you want to talk about as far as Bible verse or any other words, anything about Japan. If you want to ask, you can type in your questions and I can answer you live. So, and I have been in this country for many years, but I was originally born and grew up in Japan, so I mean, sometimes if you're a native speaker, some questions are harder. I'll just make you use it and you don't know the meaning behind it, but I'll do my best to answer your questions. So the other one that I was thinking is this one, which I really like. I'm going to type in This is the next one. In Romaji, あなた方が、sorry, 私を選んだのではない。私があなた方を選んだ。It's a little long. あなた方が私を選んだのではない。私があなた方を選んだ。So that's the next verse. And let's go over the meaning. あなた方. So あなた was you. And in English, you is you. Plural, singular, the same. However, in Japanese, if you say あなた is one you. If you want to say you, plural, you want to say あなた方. あなたたち is also, plural, but in this, I'm going with what the Bible says. So, あなた方, that's how he said it, Jesus said it. あなた方, you plural, が、私 is I, right? 私を選んだのではない。選んだ is a verb for choose. 選んだのではない。So when you have ない, do we know what that is? we have a negative. Nai is no. So when you hear the word nai, or not, like that's the stem of it, it changes depending on context. But here, nai gives like a negative meaning. So あなた方が私を選んだのではない。So you, as a group, did not choose me. Who did not? That's and then 私が, the next part, 私 is again I, right? 私, formal way of saying I, could be used both by female or male, or it's not gender specific. So, and it's more formal than boku. Boku is, you might hear it in manga and stuff, but when you're in a formal situation, boku sounds childish, I think. So I think watashi is a very safe word. Ore is even more informal, and it's usually for boys. So watashi could be, I think that's a safe word that you can remember referring yourself. So I would recommend that you memorize that one over other ones. Okay, so in English it says you did not choose me. That's the あなた方が私を選んだのではない、right? And then next one 私があなた方を選んだ。So 私 I, あなた方 is you plural, and 選んだ is the word that means choose, right? So that's similar to what you saw earlier in the first part of the sentence. So you, but I chose you is the English translation. So 私があなた方を選んだ. So when you say が, connecting after 私, it's like you're emphasizing I chose you. So it's wa is a, 私は that's like a regular, simply stating I am something. But 私が is an emphasis on I chose you. So let's write in Japanese here. 私が sorry, あなた方私を I'm gonna put 私 in hiragana. You know, try writing it in hiragana or kanji. 私をおはようございます。選んだ。そう、ごめんなさい、選挙のやつみたいですよ。そう、それではい、あなた方が私を選んだのではない。私があなた方を選んだですね。So, I did not choose me, but I chose you, John. So, 私 is again Jesus, in this case. And I heard this verse when I was in 7th grade. I went to Christian school in Japan, which is typical when you want to parents want you to get good education. It's a private Christian school. That's the school I went. It was founded by 3 missionary ladies over 150 years ago. So they had a tradition of learning about Bible. So that's where I learned this verse. I didn't know anything about Jesus, the Bible, because I grew up in traditional Japanese home where that wasn't introduced to me. But this word kind of stuck in me. It was like, wow, you chose me. That was kind of a neat experience. And after that, I wanted to learn more, so I did. But some words stuck with you more than the other. So that was one of them for me. That like, wow, somebody chose me like that. I feel very special. So yeah. Do you have any questions so far? We can keep doing some more verses. But if you have any verses you like, I want to hear from you. I'm also thinking, some things that might be easier to look at, so that we can look at the grammar and also some of the vocabulary, expand that at the same time. So any suggestion is welcome. So I'm thinking that we will look at something that's you can type in your questions on the chat box so that I can see. This is a form that I cannot hear from you, but I would like to still connect with you. So please feel free to type in your questions here. Okay, can you do the beginning of Genesis for context? Okay. So Genesis 1:1. So this is where God created the heaven and earth, right? So the chapter 1, verse 1 says, thank you, Frank, for your question. はじめに神は天地を創造された。はじめに神は天地を創造された。Okay. So when I type R された, you see that the end of the sentence, we don't use L when we write Romaji, this Roman characters, but we sounded like L. So that's the last word you see is sareta. So it doesn't sound R. We don't have R sound in Japanese, right? So はじめに神は天地を創造された。された. So it sounds L, right? And also for Spanish speaker, the first word is maybe looks weird, but it's hajime. So ha is ha. So if you see h in something, it's ha, hi, hu, he, ho. So hajime is beginning. So in the beginning, hajime ni kami. Kami is God. And this is a creator God who created the heaven and earth. Kami. You also hear kami-sama. Sama is like respect. So you can refer like my name last name is Matsuda, so Matsuda-sama. You can say that too. Like if you're a customer, they might refer you to sama to give you respect. In the same manner, I mean, it's a different level because it's God, but we say kami-sama too and give you like the most respect. But in this verse, it only says kami. But when I refer to God in Japanese, I say kami-sama. That's how I say it usually. So that's good to know. Kami-sama. Kami wa. So that's a connecting one, right? Tenchi. Tenchi is ten is the heaven. And chi is the earth. Tenchi. It's one word. You can use it separately. Ten or chi. You can use it separately. But tenchi o sozo sareta. Sozo is to create. Sozo sareta. Sareru is like there are many words to make somebody like respect somebody. And this person did this, but making it respectful, sareta made it more respectful. So Japanese. I know hiragana, katakana is a challenge a lot to learn. But once you learn it, you got it. So if you try little by little, it's, I think, fascinating. You can read most of things if you can read hiragana. Okay, I put everything in hiragana. I'm not sure if you know some Japanese or if you can read kanji or you're just beginning to study Japanese. So if I can get a sense in the chat box, that would be great too. If you're just starting, congratulations, that's great. I think Japanese language and culture is pretty amazing. So I think it's great to start. There's always beginning, so don't feel discouraged having all this like letters that you can read. There's always romaji that you can refer to in the beginning, but it'll kind of open up your world if you can learn hiragana. Let's put this in the beginning. Graded. To type. Okay, so here. Okay, now you see. So let's say it again. はじめに神は天と地を I'm sorry 天地を創造された。はじめに神は天地を創造された。So that's something. Yep, I have learned hiragana. Okay, so Frank has learned some hiragana and katakana. That's great. So you can read the last part. It's fun, right? So in this first grade in Japan, you start learning hiragana formally in school, and we have like 99% plus literacy rate. And our elementary and middle school are mandatory. 6th grade of elementary school and 3 years of middle school. So 9 years of education is mandatory in Japan, and most if not everybody will complete. Although there are some people who, like can't go to school. That has been a little bit problem. Hikikomori has been known as a problem, but majority of the children go to school and learn how to read and write. So great. So okay, so this is the beginning of the Bible. I was looking at the New Testament where Jesus came and talked about different things who he is, but right, Genesis 1:1, God created heaven and earth, and verse 3. 神は言われた光あれ。So, 神は言われた光あれ。Okay, so 神 again is God, right? 神は言われた。光あれ。はい。神は言われた。光あれ。神 is God, and 言われた you is the stem, so to say. But 言われた is like we're again respecting what God said. So 言われた is a sort of like the it's not a conjugation per se, but it's a way, changing the form to make it more respectful of what he said. God said to have light. So I wanted to give you the exact translation because I usually read Bible in Japanese. So, and God said, "Let there be light." So hikari is light. Let there be light. Are is like be, like to exist. Hikari are. So let there be light. So that's why this is a Genesis 1:3. I'm gonna type it in. God said, "Let there be light." Okay, so this is Genesis 1:3. Okay, so he just said, "Let there be." He just said it, even like hasn't done anything. He just said, and that there be light, and light's there. That's pretty cool, right? And how great he is. So he moved on and created. Let's see, that might be good. Because he moved on to create the ocean and plants, and let me see what might be good. And then animals and humans. And then he rested. So that's like the flow of the Genesis. But I'm thinking maybe other verse that we might go over. That's pretty simple because I don't want to put like too much of it, but let's see. Maybe this is good. Okay, so I'm gonna go jump into Genesis 1:27. Kami wa, it's again, Kami wa jibun ni kataratte hito o souzou sareta. Kami ni kataratte souzou sareta. Otoko to Okay, so the next one is Genesis 1:27. 神はご自分にかたどって人を創造された。神にかたどって創造された。男と女に、I'm missing me. 男と女に創造された。男と女に創造された。Okay, so kami again is God. Kami wa, so that's what it's a connecting word. ご自分, 自分 is like I. 自分, so myself. But go is like a respectful word because it's again God. We're putting like extra words to show respect. But go is or like one of those could be used to show respect. Like for example, in Japanese we say gohan. That has actually originally have this like, I mean, it's strange to say you're putting the same respectful wording to God and in the other things like food, but I think that the notion of showing respect to many things, that I just kind of want you to get in that way. Go is one way, depending on the word, it's a different. Go o. You can also say like okasan, which has O in the beginning, and also because she's, okasan, your mom is older than you, so it's giving you respect. So putting one of those words. So you might have to like listen to it and see what goes with O, what goes with go. But in this verse, is gojibun. Is like jibun is like himself, but has O go in the beginning. 神はご自分にかたどって人を創造された。かたどる is like the shape, put the shape in. 人 is people. 人. Again, it's hi is he. Like, I think in Spanish, if you speak Spanish, it's ji, but it's, and how we write it is hito. It's hito, hito, people, person. If we say in a plural, hitobito, we say it in plural form, but hito is just talking about person in general. So hito, singular form is okay. O, 創造された. So 創造, we looked at it earlier when he created heaven and earth. 創造 is to create. された is do, that he did, but respectful way. 創造された. Again, 神. So you remember this word, right? 神. Kami, the intonation kami is God, but if we say kami, to me, it could be other things. Kami could be two different things. Paper is kami. This is my Bible. This is kami too, but it's a different intonation. God is kami. The paper is kami. This is also kami. But we can also say kaminoke, like hair, head in the head. So, and it's a different context, so you would know which one it is, depending on intonation, depending on the context of the conversation. So don't worry. Just there are some words that have the same spelling, but have different meanings. But you will encounter that as you learn more. 神にかたどって創造された. That's the next one. かたどって is the same as the first one in the form of 創造された. See, you see it again. You see the create. He created. God created human in his own image, right? 男 is a man, and と is and. 男と, right? Men and 女. So if you say man, you might imagine it's a woman. 女 is a woman. 男と女に創造された. So God created men on his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. So that's the English translation of that. God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. So you see the repeat. So you see, oh, I've seen it, and now you know. Well, it takes time, but I think seeing it over and over would help to make it stick in your head, right? Female, he created them. That's Genesis 1:27. Let's say it. Oh, I'm sorry, I spelled Genesis wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna read again. 神はご自分にかたどって人を創造された。神にかたどって創造された。男と女に創造された。So that's from Genesis 1:27. Genesis is 創世記。That's Genesis in Japanese. So that's how, I mean, he created from heaven, nothing from heaven and earth, created animals, ocean animals, and humans, right? In his own image, which is like really nice. He had a special heart for us. So that's really neat to see. And it's also interesting to think about as far as Japan. It's not a they have its own sort of beliefs. Shintoism and Buddhism are common in the culture. So you see temples, shrines in Japan all over. And the notion that the God created the world is like a little bit foreign per se. So I believe this, but sometimes, I tell my friends and families like God created the world. It's like, oh, that's a new thing. Like this one God created the world. This is a new notion for them, and because Japan has this sort of like a Native American type, like nature worship type. They respect everything as they exist, and they don't even not worship, but have this like sense of higher being, respect, and stuff. But I think that a lot of Japanese people may not like think about this every day. You might go to the temple for a funeral. You might go to temple in the beginning of the year or special occasions to wish, celebrate or wish healthy years to come ahead, or make sure that you prevent bad things from happening. But it's a different, like you read this scripture every day or pray to God every day, kind of like, that's a different kind of notion. So that's also interesting to think about as we learn the Japanese language, but also culture. So it's coming to the end. If you have any other questions, so we're trying to sort of see how we can do this live class and online class. It's not simply projecting into the live class on the screen. So we're trying to figure out what would be the most effective way to do the class both online and in person. So we will be praying, exploring different ways so that we can connect with you. So unless you have any questions, I'm going to be wrapping up. So I really appreciate you joining today, and either me or David Sensei, we will connect next week. So thank you so much for joining today. Any words you want to say, Saoru-san? What did you learn today? Okay. Great. So, ありがとうございました. Thank you very much. ありがとうございました. That's very important with the little bow that we do. And so I hope you stay safe and well.